I remember one time I was upstairs in my house. Maybe something like this happened to you once. And I had just got my pocket money. And this is back in this is a long time ago. So it was in pounds. This is before euros came in. So I got like 50 pence. Now with 50 pence, you could buy a Mars bar, a packet of crisps, and a tin of Coke in those days. So this was like a lot of money. And I was holding it in my hand because I knew my brothers would try and steal it from me. Maybe you've got cousins like that or brothers, I don't know. I'm walking along, and one brother pops out in front of me. Now, he's like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. He's like, "Ah." And he's wearing just his underpants, which I don't know why that is. But they used to always do that. They would get up in the summer months and be warm, and they would all run out just wearing underpants and disappear into the countryside. And then they would come back in the evening, and sometimes they would be wearing different underpants. And we don't know how that happened. I never wanted to ask. So anyway, and they used to dance around. They used to build a fire in the back garden and dance around the fire like little cave boys. And they used to call it the underpants dance that they did. They were very weird. Anyway, one of them appears at the end of the hallway. And this is a true story. And he's wearing the underpants covered in mud and all sorts of stuff and leaves. And he said, "Give me the money." And I said, "No, I'm not giving you this money. This is my pocket money. I had to wash the car for this. I'm keeping it to buy a Mars bar and a packet of crisps." And he came at me. Now you're thinking to yourself, why didn't you just attack? He's a little guy, you're big, why didn't you go for him? Well, the reason I didn't is because there's three of them, and they would gang up on you. And I knew where he was, the other two guys were somewhere around. And so I'm backing up, I'm looking around me, trying to find them. I don't see him anywhere. They're not down that room. They're not down the stairs. I'm thinking, surely he's not going to try and take me on his own. But I backed up, and I made a mistake. I looked this way, I looked that way, but I didn't look up. And they were, can you believe this? They were in the attic. What kind of crazy moron waits in an attic? And they took off the hatch, and they were looking down. And when I backed up away from this brother, two more jumped. They launched themselves out of the attic and landed on my head and shoulders, and they hung on there. And one of them covered my eyes, so I couldn't see, and the other one covered my nose and mouth, so I couldn't breathe, which is very dangerous. The other guy then ran around behind me and kneeled down. Did you ever do that trick where you kneel behind someone big and then someone else just pushes him and he falls over? That's what they did. So they pushed me over. They held my nose and mouth so I couldn't see. They took my money and they ran away. And I was left. And I have to admit, I'm ashamed to say this, but I started to cry. And I was very upset. I said, "That's no Mars bar, no Coke, and no crisps for me." And by the time I stopped crying and got up, I looked out the window, and there they were, doing the underpants dance around, all holding a lollipop each, licking away on the lollipops, as happy as Larry.